You mean to say you think I put women down? Is that what you're saying that I'm doing all the time?
Yes, I do. I don't think you give us credit for having any brains.
Everybody start to make jokes and everything about me.
Wearing black heels and a short navy dress and jacket, Inez Sain stood outside the new Meadowlands Stadium and defended herself from criticism that her tight jeans made her a target for catcalls in the Jets locker room this past weekend.
If you had to marry a football player, which one would you like to marry?
That's a sexist kind of question, isn't it? I'm not sure if I like that.
Women and sports. For the longest time, that combination was unheard of, especially when it comes to sportscasting. Women have progressed from just another Barbie on the air image to today's sophisticated and qualified female sportscasters. But that doesn't mean that they still don't deal with daily struggles. But with time, female sportscasters are truly challenging a male-dominated industry. Society has given the sports world the reputation of being for a man. Obviously, there are many different issues surrounding women inequality. However, with sports in particularly, there has been this assumption towards women that maybe they aren't strong enough, smart enough, or even good enough to be fit for this job. We watch our televisions to catch our favorite team play, and we see these women with these jobs and don't think a thing about it. So it's natural for us to assume they aren't treated unequally anymore. But that is so far from the actual case.
I always loved sports. I was told quite often, you can't do this, you can't do that. And to me, that was just part of the challenge. If someone told me I couldn't do something, I would just die trying.
It wasn't until the mid-60s when female names such as Jane Chastain, Donna De Verona, and Jeannie Morris made a name for themselves as being considered pioneers of women's sportscasting. With this being said, these three women faced many more issues while trying to break into the field than men did. Jane Chastain was the first woman to work for a large network, CBS, and also the first woman to do play-by-play. However, Chastain later revealed that she ran into problems from the male TV crew who were not ready to accept a female working as a sportscaster. Another notable name is Phyllis George, who was a former Miss America who worked with CBS on the show NFL Today. She had played a pivotal role when it came to women in sportscasting. Along with her success came many supporters, but of course there were a lot of doubters also. Phyllis's daughter, Pamela, later on revealed that her mom had a whole box of letters from people who wrote her and said awful things, most all of them being sexist. But when she stopped reading the letters is when her confidence shone through.
Think about it. If I told you today, Rich, well, there's a Miss America that your network is hiring, you'd roll your eyes. Well, guess what? They rolled their eyes back then, but Phyllis, she had so much courage and she overcame so much. And this one thing I respected about her is she knew what she knew, and she knew what she didn't know, and she played to the strengths of her game. She didn't sit there and try to BS her way through some kind of, analysis or anything like that. But I think she played such a pivotal role. But for young girls to be able to look at her and say, wow, she's up there with the big boys, that was a huge thing to see.
I hope I broke that glass ceiling for a lot of women. I did for myself. I hope that more women will benefit from what I did.
Ever since Phyllis George broke the ground for the many female sports reporters to follow, the world has seen more and more women in sportscasting. Jessica Mendoza, Christine Leahy, Allie LaForce, and Erin Andrews, just to name a few. These women are all sophisticated and work well at their craft. However, each day these women still face criticism. I talked to Sports Illustrated reporter Jenna Rose, who resides in Detroit, Michigan, to hear a little bit more about her role and some of the challenges she may encounter as a woman in sportscasting.
Number one, what's hard about being a woman in sports broadcasting is that no matter what you do, you're going to get criticized based on your hair, what you're saying, the sound of your voice, anything that you're doing compared to a man who's doing sports coverage. It's hard to deal with being a woman who's a sports broadcaster, but what's great about it is that I'm able to dig through those negative comments and see if there actually is some criticism there that I should be taking with like critiques. But there are a lot of negative comments, especially when it comes to my credibility. When I first started working for Sports Illustrated, I was covering the Detroit Lions, and right when I just put up a picture of me, in my Lion shirt saying this is my new job, someone said, is she credible to do this? What is she doing before? I didn't even say a word about the Detroit Lions. So that's something that's been tough, but if they're just wasting their time writing at, they're not a good person. They're just a keyboard warrior. So the advice that I would give to young girls pursuing this job is that this is something that will be so rewarding for them in the long run. It's very challenging with your confidence, but if you take the time, even if you're in high school, to just go to local games that are going and just try and craft reports based off of stats online, getting comfortable in front of the camera. And number two, just do what you want to do. This is a very tough industry to be in, and if you're passionate about sports, there is a place for you.
As we can see, female sports reporters have come a long way in only the last 60 years, all thanks to a few brave women who played a significant role in paving the way for the women of future generations. These women keep proving day by day that they are well suited for the job and that they can bring a lot to the table. They have proved that they are more than just eye candy like some people used and still portray them to be. Women are every bit as knowledgeable about professional men's sports these days as the top men in the broadcasting world. And with time, more and more people will start to realize this.